In the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. Flying high, I emerge through the flames. Have no fear, I'm here, so stand back. Melanin activate, the name is super black. In the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. Flying high, I emerge through the flames. Have no fear, I'm here, so stand back. Melanin activate, the name is super black. Imagine that, a future that's super black. Long as your skin brown, your superpowers intact. What would your powers be? Just hope it ain't super whack. Spatial manipulation, create a portal that's black. Maybe just super speed, time travel to run it back. Or cheat manipulation to keep my spirit intact. As I encounter evils the world face, demons the world makes, I'm needed the world at stake. Rest in peace to Chadwick, they killed all the Black Panthers. Told us white lies, I still marvel at black answers. Suits in DC, pray it lead to a civil war. It ain't no Justice League, what's the need to be civil for? Propelled like the juggernaut, it's clear ain't no stopping this. The world in grave danger, who can stop the apocalypse? They killed all the heroes, the new ones don't really care. But if you need me, put your fist up in the air. Yeah, in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. Flying high, I emerge through the flames. Have no fear, I'm here, so stand back. Melanin activate, the name is super black. In the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. Flying high, I emerge through the flames. Have no fear, I'm here, so stand back. Melanin activate, the name is super black.
Hey everybody, we are back for another episode of Blurred's Eye View. I'm your host, Chris Fury, the man on the wall, the king up north, the Papa Bear, the Blurred World, and a bunch of other monikers I go by that are very positive. But if this is your first time tuning in, thank you for tuning in, checking us out. Show your support and your love by you can give stars on our Facebook page. You can show up by subscribing and hitting the notification bell on the YouTube channel, and check us out on Always Press Record TV on Roku and Amazon Fire. And you can also listen to us on Opulence Radio. But I want to thank everyone who's been here before. And let's remove that little piece. And who's been here before. And thank you for returning, because, that means we're doing something right. And y'all enjoy what we do. And we enjoy doing what we do. And let's face it, nobody can do what we can do. So let's do it. So coming back, finally, now that we figured out our scroll invasion situation, is our very own horror writer, Geek by Heart. What's going on?
I was about to say, do you hear me good?
Yes.
Okay.
We got Lainey back.
Yes.
What's going on?
I'm chilling, man. What's going on with you?
Oh yeah, that last episode, everybody was like, "Wait a minute, what is going on over there?" Everything goes on over here. We just
understand what was happening. It took like a good 5 minutes for me to be like, "Oh my god, I know what's happening." I didn't even know what was happening.
It was between you and Lady Mandalore, because y'all pretty much in the same vicinity, and like I knew you said the internet went out, and I'm like, "Oh, I know that pain very well."
Yep.
Because it doesn't exactly come back right away. It's like, oh no. You thought you had that full signal. No, let me brush you up. Come close. Let me talk to you. It's one of them things. Oh man. Our very own cinematic assassin Will be watching is in the building. What's going on, Will?
Hey man, the last show in the month of May, or as anime, as I've heard some fans out there. So got the Majin Buu T, and on the one of the worst fathers in all of animated history. And hold up, bang! If I hit you with a Spike Lee action, get that KO 10 times 10 in your face, boy.
Oh my. Speaking of
during
May,
the commercial, I'm gonna change my shirt. No problem.
No, speaking of, there's a lot that's happened in May. Like you have Black Mermaid, you have Black Friday, you have Star Wars Day, which literally it lasts from the 4th to like the 7th, but we make it's supposed to be one day, but may the 4th be with you. Revenge of the 5th, Revenge of the 6th. The 6th, and we just rolled with it. So
absolutely.
And over here at this camp, we were just sharing stuff and blowing it up. And because let's face it, we're Star Wars nerds. What the hell? We're like, This is what we do. 24/7. Like 24/7, right?
Mm-hmm.
Black Spartan is in the building.
I was so expecting Laney to go Autobots roll out.
Roll out, my homies.
I was so expecting Laney to be like Autobots roll out. I was like,
listen, if y'all would have heard me on Sunday, I actually had that voice. It was not cute.
Oh my God!
You didn't have the 70-year-old smoker voice, did you?
I don't know what happened, but like for like a good
courage.
48 hours, my throat was killing me. So I really did sound like that. Sound like that.
She sounded more like
you have a lot. Did you smoke a lot? Did that happen?
She sounded like Edna from The Incredibles. Is that what you?
No, it sounded like he was doing that Simpson. The sister from
Marge Simpson.
That's every waitress at a diner in Baltimore.
That is every
what
waitress.
Can I get you, honey?
Thank you. I'm about to say Waffle House too. Yep. Absolutely.
Would you like to have your all-star breakfast? We have the special on the water for men, yeah.
not the What could happen?
Oh my God. Other than that, man, what's been going on with everybody?
Not ready for another 3-day weekend. This one went too quick.
Recovery.
I literally said today at work, I said it should be mandatory that we get 3-day weekends because now, as we are in adulting stage, Saturday is when you catch up on errands, and Sunday is the only time you can rest.
Thank you.
And you feel like you got nothing done.
Thank you. Agreed.
But the weekends are 30-minute breaks of life.
Yep.
Oh, we take 30 minutes?
5-day work week is criminal.
That's why we look.
What's a 5-day work week?
I look at my buddies. I look at my buddies across the seas. Oh yes, we only work 4 days out the week. Do you not enjoy your 3-day weekends? No, because we're not in freaking Italy. That's why.
Why did I see it?
Is that widespread or just like maybe in one locale?
Some countries like Italy does it, London does it, and some parts of Europe do it. So it's not.
No wonder they don't have any freaking problems.
That part, right?
If you go to Amsterdam, there's no problems. Everybody's high.
Hello.
And happy. And apparently eat
and
well.
Chill.
Yeah. There's two things they do in Amsterdam. They eat very well, and the
screw even better.
You just gave Will a thought process. The way he just
eat well and screw even better. It's the red light district. I mean, what can he say?
This is after dark talking.
This is after. We're like an hour ahead. So yeah.
In the defense of Amsterdam, there are signs.
There are
signs. You just don't.
That same lady from the Waffle House.
The special is on the menu right here.
Oh nah.
Right here for you to order.
Oh nah. Oh
no.
And you're just like
nowhere near the red light district. Absolutely not. That's just like a terrible time.
Well, that is a good deal.
I mean, they don't. I mean, it's at least it's taxed. You should be about the ones that don't report it. That's the ones you should be worried about.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Look at them. What they're doing. They're not doing anything wrong. People are happy. Why would you want to take that from them?
Right.
Oh my God. Is a lot of people I want to give shout outs to and celebrate to. Shout out to Crazy 8 and Hieroglyphics. Obi-Wan is currently streaming everywhere on platforms everywhere, and it's definitely playing here in Ohio on the radio. So shout out to the camp. Crazy 8 just performed at MomoCon, so he had the crowd going out there. If you ever get a chance to see Crazy 8 in concert, because that's what it is, it's a concert.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a performance, it's a concert. You'll see him at different cons. I think the next one there might be at is AwesomeCon. I want to say AwesomeCon.
Nice.
But you'd be doing yourself a severe disservice if you don't see him perform in person. You'd be doing yourself a severe disservice if you don't listen to Obi-Wan by Hyro and 8 on streaming platforms. We've played it here. We premiered it here. People love it. Shout out to Organic Chrissy. because she got Hyro in shape. I told her she put Hyro on the Deco Midoriya workout plan.
Man,
my man got jacked. I'm like, yo, wait a minute. Okay.
I was about to say, what is that
I've
workout
seen this
plan?
picture today. I think I know you're talking about.
Yeah,
It was serious in like 1 year.
Yeah, 1 year. I'm like, yo,
like 1 year.
I was gonna DM him and like, who are you fighting at Kumite? Who are you fighting, sir?
I'm like, that was a year ago. I'm like, so All Might did the same thing with Midoriya. It's about a year, wasn't it? Yeah. Gave him a strand of his hair and rolled with it.
The Deku plan is to believe real hard and cry often.
Isn't that All Might?
That's what it is, though.
Hey, that first run,
that was a transformation.
That run, I'm me and my son, like, yo, I wish my man would quit crying. Like, he got the skills, man. I just wish he quit crying.
I can understand after a few workouts like that, where you just have to get that lift off. Sometimes you just got to let it out, and then sometimes you got to watch that dude throw a weight across the room and say, "Time to go home."
Yeah. Midoriya was like, you know what? We're done working out. I'm gonna go work out at the trash compactor. At the what? What? At the trash? Wait, yo, dude, you're normal. Whatever.
Better than saying, "Hey, man, why are you still here? You won."
Yeah, right. You got the lottery. You pulled it off.
You can't get no more abs on top of the hot dog packets you got for abs right now.
For real. Shout out to Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. They recently lost their titles. Great runs, by the way. What else can you say? Like, I mean, we kind of seen it coming. It was going to come eventually. I think it was just like, who do we pass it off to?
That was the problem.
Yeah.
That was the problem. I'm sorry.
I think they ran out of storyline. I don't know.
The reason why, look, Jade Cargill, I kept waiting for her to get an actual feud, and Bianca has been putting on match after match. You know what Bianca is? Bianca's like that one supervisor they keep calling in because everybody else is messing up. So she has to come in and just take. He's like, look, Jerome didn't come in, so we're gonna need you to cover the afternoon shift. I mean, you're gonna knock it out. We know you're gonna knock it out, but we need you to come on in. But I mean, we just saying we need you to come on, stop through here real quick, and And Asuka getting the title was the right call. It should have just been at WrestleMania.
I think
it should have been. That's what I said.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. No, I'm not. I'm seriously. I agree. You know, I think the times when you lose the titles should be at bigger events. It shouldn't be the smaller.
I'm not okay. I can put this. I'm not trying to put down a country. I'm not trying to. But had it happened in Puerto Rico, it would have been a much bigger pop.
That's true.
It would have
because they were in Saudi Arabia, right?
Yeah, they were in Saudi Arabia. So
and they just got that cleared to even do that.
You gotta. I mean, I feel bad for the women there too. The women wrestlers there because they have to wrestle, fully clothed. And I'm not talking just straight on pantsuit. I mean, they have to literally bundle them up. It's like a parka on top of a pantsuit, and you have to wrestle in it.
Oh my!
Yeah,
it's a lot. And so that's a lot. It's a lot.
Crazy.
I mean,
hot as hell.
Versus anybody else. I mean, Brock Lesnar come out there in some Jimmy John shorts and look overweight, and nobody bats an eye.
Exactly.
Man.
That part.
So, Roman Reigns and the family, they're falling apart, which turns out to be probably some good storyline.
It's a beautiful storyline. Supporting Jimmy. If Jimmy Uso does not get the Oscar for best,
I'm doing what you should have done.
I never seen a dude look so conflicted. He's like, just this Uso here.
See, I like what you said. So for those who are listening and those who watch, when we see a lot of this stuff, for one, we do stuff backstage before we even go live, but we are always in the chat group, and the stuff that we've seen and we've talked about, we're just like, yeah. Somebody actually said, I seen it on a post. Somebody had a post. Oh, like, yeah, this is Roman Reigns' start of his Hollywood career, and I'm like, he's already started it. He was in Hobbs and Shaw. He was already there. That's just a taste.
I mean, a lot of these wrestlers. I mean, a lot of them are smarter. I like to say you don't want to go the Ric Flair route. You don't want to be damn near in your 70s and still wrestling because you take a bump, that's death.
Yeah. If I hear somebody else like, yeah, Ric Flair, I'm like, Ric Flair need to sit down. I'm sorry.
I thought he definitely retired a long time ago.
I thought he did too. He done married that younger wife, and I'm like, dude, chill out.
He done cheated death twice. I'm thinking that's like, okay, you got death, but death like 3, round 3 mine, right?
Yeah.
You ain't walking away from 3.
He gonna be on the stage. He gonna woo one time and let out a little pee. He gonna be like, all right. Actually, I'm ready.
Bro, I bet you that has happened already.
Check me out.
That's what's gonna do it. The woo. He's like, woo, too hard right there.
Not the woo. And Ric Flair's doing the dance commercials.
Yep. See,
I never thought it was
like after they broke up wrestling, after they broke up the Shield. Yeah, it took like I'm slowly getting back in. Like it really took a lot for me because. Once Stone Cold left, I was just like,
thank you.
There's nobody here.
You. To me, WWF, once they changed WWE, I was done.
Yeah, it was like there's nobody here.
The whole process of how they went about things changed to just being a spectacle than actually wrestling and actually good storylines.
Yeah,
because we got rid of Vince. We finally got rid of that one little roadblock
piece.
And then Triple H sat there and said, I think I can do it better. And he has.
Yeah.
I mean, the product for WWE is way different now. And they're actually working with other promotions, something that Vince would never do. Vince would rather buy an organization and merge it into WWE versus, actually having inner matches. Because you see that with AEW, which again is another one, and even homegrown TNA and Ring of Honor. If you're in the Nashville Southern region area, you know what I'm talking about. Those are starting to work together. So we're finally getting cooperation and not capitalism.
Yeah, and it shows because when you have one of the camp actually having the respect of the rest of the wrestlers that's in that group, they're just like, yo, my guy can really talk to everybody and say, hey, I know what you're looking for. You've told me before I even got to this point. So we all in the same page. And when Vince is like, look what happened with ECW when they absorbed ECW. ECW was never the same after that.
Watered down.
It was never the same after that.
I remember when ECW was X-rated. ECW was banned. It was like it was up there with and this was a long time ago in Tennessee. Never has two things been banned. ECW was banned and Ultimate Fighting was banned.
Yep.
They would not.
You had to get both of those. You watched ECW on cable access. Ultimate Fighting you had to catch like on VHS.
Pretty much.
That was it. Like it was seriously underground. Like I worked at a restaurant and the dude was like, you heard of Ultimate Fighting? I'm like, nah, what the hell is that? I was on the ECW. I'm like, what's the Ultimate Fighting? We went to his house after work and I'm like, yo, who's advertising this?
It was like getting led on a secret club, wasn't it?
Right. He was like, look, I'll let you borrow the tape. Cool.
But that's the crazy part. It's amazing how mainstream UFC and MMA fighting is now compared to what it was back then.
Yeah.
I remember ECW. The ECW was so X-rated, and the reason why I know it was X-rated because the one show I went to, I learned about anatomy that day. I leave it at that. Wow. I just leave it at that. All I got to stand and say is the wonderful sister that was sitting right next to me at 9 years old that decided to let New Jack know that she was in the lower variety of the alphabet group, and 9-year-old me is just like. My dad looks at me and he's gonna say
of all people, New Jack. Lord,
New Jack was crazy, but
you gotta watch. If you've never watched the what is it, Vice? I think it was the Vice special they had like on the ECW and everything. Man, that New Jack story was insane. Like
the fact that he sat there and said that if it wasn't for a certain somebody, Vince McMahon would not be alive.
Oh,
yeah. New Jack was on one. Like
when New Jack,
he meant what he said. Like you thought those was promos? No, that was real life. Really that was he was like he's like when I see you, I'ma kill you.
Wow.
Literally, there's a story that Paul Heyman, if it was not for Paul Heyman, Vince McMahon would not be alive right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like
and if you look up holding a grudge in the dictionary,
mm-hmm.
you see New Jack's face. Like, my guy held a whole grudge from a move that went could have went wrong. It could have went wrong. Could have went really bad.
Mm-hmm.
And the person, and he ended up in the hospital. And I can't remember who it was he was wrestling, but for a whole year. Like, first off, New Jack was in the hospital. Dude didn't come by, didn't say my fault, my apology. Nothing, none of that. Didn't no nothing. That's who it was. Yes,
Sandman messed him up,
and
that's what it was.
He said it was a year, a whole year when they had another match, and it was like, this is ECW, like no WWF. This is ECW, like, so it's like no holds barred.
Mm-hmm.
They had these tables stacked. And New Jack said he did his damnedest to throw him out the ring onto the concrete.
Mm-hmm. Completely overshoot it. Like the way the tables are stacked up. Like the bit was he was supposed to throw him into it. He launched him. Like
he did his.
Like
he wished death upon him. That's what he did.
I ain't never seen someone try to humanize. I mean, he was like playing human cornhole. When I tell you, the way the video looks, like he got a good. You know how mad you got to be to grab a person by the back of the shirt and the pants and throw them as humanly hard as possible.
Right.
That's what he did.
Right.
It's like,
shout out to Halle Bailey for The Little Mermaid, $125 million.
Number one box office.
Number one. Actually, really good movie.
Mm-hmm.
I know her and her sister can sing. I've seen them do a cappella and everything else. The girls, both of them, they got pipes.
Mm-hmm.
But hearing her sing that song and she breaks, and you're just like, when you feel it, yeah, you're good. Like, yeah, there ain't no touching. You can't touch that candle. Like, that's you just solidified it.
Now, see, I haven't seen it yet. My siblings and my mom seen it, and from what I was told, it's like there wasn't a dry eye in the movie theater.
Oh, it wasn't. I went with the wife and the girls, and they had little tears, and I looked at my wife. I said, "Wait till we see Guardians again," because she nodded off. So wait till we see Guardians again, because I'm getting mine.
I can't do. We'll all go together in the forever beautiful blue sky. I can't do that again. I cannot do that again.
Oh man. But yeah, it is. It's actually, I mean, beat for beat is the movie. Someone tried to call it out and say, "Oh, this is a bad example of girls chasing men," and I'm like, "You never seen the original?" They're just telling the story. It's okay. This isn't real life.
Have you not seen any Disney movie?
Exactly.
I was like, outside of what? Snow White? I think that's the only movie where it was reverse order.
Yeah. So it was like the guy. I can't remember the actor who played Prince Eric, but that wasn't never the focal point for me ever. Mm-hmm. And then we got a black queen, number one.
Yeah.
Because his mother, he's adopted, and his mother is the queen, and she's black. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, y'all was fussing about the merman. Y'all ain't say nothing about the queen, right? Right. Okay. Y'all just picking straws at this point.
Because mermaids can't be black.
Yeah.
Y'all are using science to decipher a mythical creature.
We literally got a crab talking. Come on.
I mean, you didn't say Sebastian had to be Caribbean.
Exactly. And it was Daveed Diggs anyway. I was like, hey, I'd take Daveed Diggs over Chet Hanks any day. I'm just saying.
Right.
Wow. Jesus.
I keep expecting what did I miss to come out of nowhere.
Look, that's the same thing Tom said. He was just like, God, this kid, I swear to God. Like Tom Hanks, you're always invited to the cookout. We know how you react to things. We know how you do things.
Mm-hmm.
Tell Chet to stay home.
Chet needs to go to a HBCU for a while and get shell shocked.
He just doesn't know where he's at anymore.
Go ahead, lady. Go ahead, lady.
she was like, she glitched. No, but yeah, shout out to
Hello?
Halle Bailey. Yes,
Damn.
you're good.
You're good. You're good.
You're good. No,
You're
but
fine,
shout
man.
out to Halle Bailey. That was actually a really good performance. Singing a whole new world, or was it
Part of your
Part of
world.
that world.
Part of your world? And actually, when the original voice actress is giving her praise,
Mm-hmm.
and she's actually a really good singer, and then you hear Halle Bailey, you're just like, wow. Like,
Yeah, it's like
when you hear someone sing like that, period, the Bailey sisters can sing.
mm-hmm.
That
And
is,
they can blow.
there's no question.
Yeah.
But they're just
you can get a seasoning on it. Just, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
don't get me wrong. The original is
oh,
good.
they were seasoned. Oh, it was definitely seasoned. I was just like, ooh.
Mhm.
Like I'm probably one of the few guys in the theater when she hit that note, and I'm like, ooh. And I'm like,
I was expecting shoes to get thrown in the movie theater. Like when she gets that note, you be seeing shoes fly across the room.
we seen videos when she did that song, and people in the audience, our people, understood the assignment, and like when they heard it, applause hit, and then they stopped,
Mm-hmm.
and then they let her finish, and then they finished it off again. I'm like, they got the assignment. They know.
Not the church choir assignment.
The
like
church choir assignment.
Listen.
It was the church choir assignment. Yeah, so she's making her rounds, and if you paid attention, like Christy saying, she's at D23, but she's been making her rounds. If you pay attention to the dresses she's wearing to the premieres, they correlate with what Ariel was actually wearing, and I'm like, yo, good eye. And here's the thing: there is one of Triton's daughters is Caribbean.
Oh shoot, it was so beautiful.
Yeah, I was just like, okay, no shade to Ariel. I need to know more about the Caribbean sister now.
I want that doll. Seriously, for myself.
That I'm like, I don't know if that's part CGI, part dress or something. It looked sharp. Those colors was popping. I'm like, yo,
yes, they were.
I'm just happy King Triton went to all 7 seas and you chose.
Oh yeah,
he sure did.
He did.
He sure did.
That man sat there and said, "I'm gonna check out every sea."
Yeah. In other words, Triton
on his Nick Cannon, just
he's on his Nick Cannon.
Boom.
He's on his Nick Cannon.
From sea to shining sea.
Don't sit there and say my daughters don't represent the world.
Oh yes, but yeah, I was telling my wife, I said, this month, June, it's not an easy month for movies. I don't recall being this hard to watch movies. It's a week apart. All of them are a week apart.
But then we also have to blame the pandemic for backing up too, because a lot of these movies did get kind of roped together outside of being like a month apart. Because for some odd reason, was like you said, the month of June we just have back to back movies, and it has been a very long time.
Guardians had what, 2 weeks to itself, and then Fast X dropped. Fast X gets a week. Then The Little Mermaid drops. Then that gets a week because now Across the Spider-Verse drops. That gets a week.
We all gonna be crying. We all gonna be crying again come June 2nd.
Oh my god!
The Boogeyman for Me comes out too next week.
Yep. That's dropping. I think the same day.
Yes,
that stars Baby Leia. I know her as Baby Leia. She's always gonna be Baby Leia. I think the little actress's name is Vivian, but I know her as Baby Leia from Kenobi. Just
boom. That's what she's gonna be named. Yeah.
She's Baby Leia.
Roll with.
They're like, who is that? I'm like, oh, that's Baby Leia.
As long as that Disney check keeps rolling in, you can come wherever you want.
Right. I was like, let me watch Kenobi one more time. Let's get at another run. It's a good series. I like it. So yeah. But yeah, shout out to Halle Berry and Bailey and that entire crew over at Disney and getting that whole thing pushed out. It's a glorious thing. Now we can tell our stories. We can tell our stories. We don't have to adopt anybody else. Let's tell our stories now. Yeah.
I think there's one that's coming out with a black lead. I saw it as a preview for The Little Mermaid. I don't remember what it was called, but it's I think coming out in November.
I know The Blackening comes out soon too, and I really want to see that.
I think that's in June too, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
I really want to see that one.
What is Black people doing horror movies?
That a black horror comedy. I'm here for.
I'm dying.
I need to watch that because I'm watching that just for prosperity. Because I'm like, if it is not what I think it is, like, so you people are in a horror movie and we're out.
Yeah. No, like literally the trailer goes. They're all black people. They're at a cabin. Somebody's out trying to kill people, and then they are already deciding who's black enough to try to figure it out. And it's funny because one of the guys walks in and he was like, "What?" He's like, "What do you get?" Like, "You're not black enough." It was one of them things. But speaking, yeah, right.
Dang.
So speaking, it's crazy. It's a comedy. It's all for it.
Okay.
Speaking of telling our stories, I want to give a shout out to Psycho Image Films, Afro Cocoa Puffs, and Six Wakage, because they just dropped this dope visual called At Lover's End. I'm able to show it today, so here we go.
I am the monster you created. You ripped out all my parts. And worst of all, for me to live, I gotta kill the part of me that saw. And I needed you more. I hope you know we had everything, and you broke me and left these pieces. I want you to hurt like you hurt me today, and I want you to lose like I lose when I play what could have been. Could have been. Why don't you love who I am? What we could have been. I am your ghost, a fallen angel. You ripped out all my parts. I couldn't care what invention you made me, 'cause I was meant to be yours.
Damn.
Yeah. Can we get that? I'm gonna get that. Shout out to Psycho Image, Afro Cocoa Puffs, and Six Mikage. That was really dope. Seeing that, yeah, exactly. It was deep. Seeing that, the visuals alone, and
the production value.
Yes, I'm realizing how much I'm getting like Cinematic Assassin over here, where I'm really understanding and feeling production value and visuals and music and just how everything fits.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, feels good.
Hey, listen. Black Spartan disappeared because he was definitely the zombie. Like these two large Negroes wrestling. He's camera shy. He didn't want y'all to see his face as he saw his cinematic debut.
It's like, well, you say you're saying Black Spartan is the one who changed and won't tell us.
We got another transformation this week.
There we go. Oh my God. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about trilogies of trash, the good, the bad, and the trilogy. Which movies should have stopped after 3? Which ones redeemed themselves after the second one?
Hold up. Before you finish that sentence.
And
the timing of that was ludicrous, as I had to go make sure my child was okay.
Oh Lord!
But why do I gotta be the one that turns?
Well, we'll talk about it after the break.
Why I
was eating. What commercial? Hi there. This is a commercial break. This is your reminder to peep the podcast on all platforms and drop them a follow. And these are some more popular episodes that you can go ahead and check out after this one. Okay, I think I bought them enough time for whatever they're doing behind me. Cut it, Chris. I'm going back to my damn sandwich.
You can always check Blurred's Eye View always on Opulence Radio and always press record TV through Roku and Amazon Fire. Shout out to Tafari for our commercials and giving us the love what we deserve. Also, there's a little bit of an announcement that I have to make. I hope y'all ready for July 7th through the 10th because that's right, the squad is going to BlurCon.
Yeah.
Details to come soon on when our panel is going to be taking place. I hope y'all ready out there that's listening and watching. If you're listening, you need to see the visuals. That's why it's more than just a podcast. Y'all need to check us out live and in person at BlurCon, July 7th through the 10th. We will be there. We will be having a panel. Details coming soon on what time, and we're gonna have a couple giveaways during that time, so you don't want to miss that panel. You know, if you've been to the show, you watched the show, you know we got goodies. We don't buy off our crowds. We celebrate them. So celebrate because that stuff's free for me. So trilogies or trash, the good, the bad, and the trilogy. We got quite a few. We squared it down to 10, just 10 random franchises. I think we'll start with this. Back to the Future. Back to the Future, very much classic. One that I hope they never touch.
Oh, they will.
I know.
They will.
Here's the thing: if they did, I already know Tom Holland is pretty much a shoe-in.
You know, it doesn't need a reboot.
It does not.
It does not. That being said, I would not mind a mini but slight continuation. It can be a mini series. It can be you can even do a 1 or 2 TV movie if you want to, or do like maybe a limited run of 5 or 6 episodes. But that's it. I mean, you don't want to go beyond the nostalgia of what made the series lovable, what made it great, what made it intriguing. You don't want to, for a lot of people, they get stuck in that nostalgia. It's like, yes, we know the DeLorean was destroyed. Yes, it could have been rebuilt. DeLorean company comes out with a new DeLorean. They could use that as a way to plug the new car. They could use that. But, let's not get away from the fact of what made the trilogy great. That's all I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. A reboot would tarnish it, because what are you doing then? Because it already goes to the future and the past. So it's like, what are you really covering differently?
In reality, the second one, which was the future, is now officially the past. And so now it's like not like, how do you cover it from there? Like, do you
can't, Marty. You can't. Because of the stick away. That's
you're talking about Tom Holland. If he was one of Marty's kids,
I can see that.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see it.
Just you're telling me my dad messed it up? No. Your whole time
it was you, Marty Jr.
Listen, they're gonna probably try to do it because Chris Lloyd was already in what was it, The Mandalorian?
Yeah.
So they're gonna try to do it.
But Christopher Lloyd has also sat there and said that it has to be 2 things. You have to get Robert Zemeckis on board, and the script has to be good. He has said that in multiple podcasts. Those are his 2 conditions. I mean, because he realized, as much as we want Michael J. Fox to be in some capacity of it, we understand because of his condition that he may or may not be up for it. Although he says all the time he's up for it. He says it all the time. If it ever does come back, he's up for it in some way, form, or fashion. But again, a continuation will work, because you have Jules and Vern. You have literally the 2 kids, and can go from there.
Speaking of Michael J. Fox, I don't know if this documentary is out yet, but it talks about his time making Back to the Future and still being on Family Ties. And there's like a really cool transitioning scene. Like, my guy was putting in work.
Yep.
That man was Tom Cruise before he was Tom Cruise.
Yeah, like my dude was on Family Ties and then would leave the set, go home, sleep for like 3 hours, and get back up and be on the set of Back to the Future.
Mm-hmm.
My guy was working. And the transitions that they do, it was like a really cool transitioning scene that they do. Like, he's just coming out of jacket and shirt, and then they just throw something else on real quick. I'm like, yeah, my dude was moving.
Yeah.
He was moving. So, yeah, I want to see. It might be Hulu. I got to find out what the name of it is. I think it's called Steel or something like that. But I want to check. I actually want to check that out. It looks like it's going to be pretty interesting. Here's another one. Pirates of the Caribbean.
Ooh. That is
go ahead, Laney.
That was horrible.
Wow.
That 4th one was so bad.
You didn't like On Stranger Tides, love.
Bro, I was so mad about watching that. I was like, I really feel like I just wasted my life for about 2.5 hours.
Yeah. Right, Christy.
Yeah, facts, Christy. Yeah, facts.
I mean,
the first one was great, but
the first one and the second one were pretty spot on. And after that, it was just like, okay.
What happens in the 3rd one again?
That was at World's End.
That's at World's End.
Yeah.
At World's End at World's End was it
back every 10 years, some shit? I don't
know.
Yeah,
the Flying Dutchman comes back once every 10 years, and I guess
that was their ending. That was their ending.
And that should have been their ending. That should have been.
Try to blame it. I love how they try to blame it all on a black woman named Calypso. That this is all started because of her. I was like, that's a whole level of petty right there. It's like, you are the sole reason all this happened, right?
She was on the ship the entire time. It was just like, wait a minute.
I mean, a white man tried to love you, and you just sat there and said, you know what this was.
once again, Black Tang caused all you white men to go crazy.
Listen, and that actress, I can't remember her name, but that actress,
Mm-hmm.
she's a real
She's
woman.
been around. She's been around. Yeah, she gets it in. She gets it in. I remember seeing her before, and I'm like, she's old. That's her.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's in the Bond. She's in Daniel Craig Bond movie. She was 28 Days Later.
Yep. She gets it in. She gets it in.
But you gotta give it to Johnny Depp because at least for 3 movies he made it interesting. At least if it wasn't Johnny Depp, that's all it was.
That's all everybody was at that point. That's all everybody cared about was Johnny Depp. Yeah. Although still one of the dopest. Here she go, Lady Mandalore in the building. Hey. Still one of the dopest entrances I've seen to date is when you see him on the crow's nest of the ship, which is actually sinking, and it's timed right when he steps on the pier, and I'm like,
that's cold. That was pretty cold.
That was a pretty cold intro, and I'm just like, he slyly walked in there. But yeah, I agree.
But the quips are what made the movie for me. It's like, it's like, are you really? He's like, yeah, I've never heard of Captain Jack Sparrow. But you have heard of me. Move on.
There were definitely moments that still go on in the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. But I agree, if it's just let it go. It's not worth trying to dump more money into a friend. Now, you could have gotten away with it if you built the right story around it, but it seems like it just build it around Jack. It's Jack and the adventures. Nobody cares about anybody else.
That's all it's ever been. But you ticked off the main star. Once you ticked off the main star, that was the end of your franchise at that point. Yeah. You could have thrown a ungodly amount of money at him, and he still would be like, no.
And one other franchise that Zoe Saldana was a part of that made a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
Yep. She was one of them on the ship. That's it.
All 10 seconds of the girl.
She was like, it counts. It counts. I'm there. It counts.
10 seconds. Bill credit. Got my check. I'm out.
That's it. Speaking of letting it go, Indiana Jones.
Oh Lord Jesus, me.
This is a good trilogy right here.
That was it. You didn't need anything else.
You
didn't need it after that. That was it. That was it. We thought that was it.
It's literally the last crusade.
It was like so Indy. It's like Indy lives forever. Is that
exactly? Let him just go off.
But I found the Holy Grail. It's like you had one job. For the person holding the Holy Grail, you literally had one job. You was cool as long as you didn't pass the freaking line.
And then they gave us Crystal Skull, and then they opens it like, well, Dad died. I'm like, well, what the hell was the Holy Grail for? What was that for?
That's what the Holy Grail. That's what the Holy Grail is saying. Am I a joke to y'all?
Somewhere that Templar Knight is just like, I went to dust for nothing.
But no, that's the thing. It's like the Crystal Skull was a money grab. Then again, I was still mad at Shia LaBeouf because to me he ruined Transformers. So that's my little personal gripe about it. But
Michael Bay
ruined Transformers.
No.
Yeah,
it
was a classic. I'm sorry, it's a tragic.
Yeah, first was good, but after that, Michael Bay was really just like, let's blow stuff up. I'm like, I get it. It's robots fighting. That kind of fits the scenario.
I can say it's a classic, but it's hot garbage. But that's just me. But I'm sorry.
Besides, you can't get more than Bernie Mac selling the car. He'd be like, "Hey there, money."
That part was
No, the first one to me was a classic.
Oh, that and Anthony Anderson saying, "I'm not going down for you, criminal. I'm not going down for you."
Like, what you want to know? I will tell you everything.
I forgot about that too. It's been a minute since I watched that. I forgot he was in that too.
Yeah, so there was some notable moments. That's why the first one is actually pretty classic. The second one is like, then after that, you're just
you messed with Transformers lore at Dark of the Moon.
Oh,
once you went Revenge of the Fallen, Dark of the Moon, and then you went The Last Night. That's always like
Last Night was another one. That's another pile of shit.
The nerve that they had Peter Quill's mama in there, and I'm like,
You had Leonard Nimoy as Sentinel Prime.
Yeah.
You had gold at that moment and you squandered it.
Which one was it that you thought it was the ending and then it ended up being like this massive war and it went like for a whole nother, it was like a third act that didn't need to be the third act. I'm like, yo, I thought we were done. Now there's a war in Chicago?
I couldn't even tell you.
It was bad.
I really
and then
it wasn't the third movie.
I think
it wasn't
was
the third one. It was?
I think it was.
I definitely didn't see it then.
And then like
I didn't care.
I don't remember. Decepticons ended up getting Megatron got his hands on nanites, and I'm like, see, now that's just cheating.
Yeah, that was dark. That was last night. That was Dark Moon. Last night was the one the never-ending movie. That's the movie you're talking about where you think it's over and yet
like,
the whole
now you want to bring us Hot Rod, and then it's not really that great. It's French.
We should have known better in the first movie when they introduced Jazz. And he's like, "What's cracking, little biznitch?" or whatever he says. I was like, "Ooh, I don't."
My
Negro radar is
that was Eddie Winslow that did that voice too. That was good.
That's not Will. That's not the worst one. It was the twins in the second movie.
Thank you. I was about to say
the second movie were the ones I sat there. I was like, so we just
they were clearly much more offensive, but. I was excited for Jazz, and the second he opened his mouth, I was like, "Something. This is gonna go." This
like that is not. I'm like, this is not Scatman Carruthers. I'm like, wait a minute.
So Jazz immediately had to be the urban one, and Ironhide was the old black dude.
Yeah,
you made Ironhide literally the Danny Glover of Transformers because every time he talked, he sounded like.
And that was who was that? That was the dad from Roseanne.
Yeah.
John Goodman.
Yeah.
And they gave Devastator testicles.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm like, so we're just going for the jokes.
Truck nuts exist. Why can't he?
I'm directly below the enemy squad.
I got a joke for that one.
Truck nuts.
Yes. No.
Nothing like a good tea bag. What do we got? Rambo.
Oh,
I've lost count. So
after
lost.
You know what? Rambo after the first one, that should have been it. Except until you got to Last Blood. When you got to Last Blood, it's like, okay, you work with Rambo being slightly older, but you focus more on the action and the story. So you kind of went back to the first formula of the first movie. But in between that, between Third and Blood and all that stuff, at that point, that's just explosions.
Yeah,
and they, you know what? Shout out to making archery cool because nobody thought you could have explosive tip arrows and do that much damage inside of 2 hours.
Anything after 3, I was just like, okay, now you're just going for body count at this point. It was like you've never heard of John Rambo? You mean you've never heard of the guy who went and fought off a sheriff's police station, single-handedly saved his general, literally by himself in the jungle, use explosive tip arrows and put stuff to shame. Chuck Norris.
You know what? You got what we got to take from that though? The 80s training montages. Because literally you had the drums in the background when he's just sitting there doing deadlifts and pulling up, and then he takes when I guess the girl that he's with dies in the second, so he rips off some of her shirt and then just makes a bandana out of it, and you got the whole back flex going like that. I'm just like, and I'm like, are you honoring her or you work it out? Because I can't tell right now.
Here's the worst of it. They actually ended up making Rambo and the Commandos cartoon. Like the 80s was something else. Like the stuff they actually made cartoons from certain franchises. Chuck Norris, Rambo, RoboCop,
what was that?
Little Shop of Horrors.
If that wasn't a time to be alive, because what was that? Rambo, Delta Force, Lone Wolf McQuade.
Yeah. Good Lord. It's always that one. It's always that one cop or that one soldier you don't want to mess with. It's always an issue.
And they always burned out. Why are they always burned out cops? You ever notice that? It's like a cop is just like one bad day from just saying F it all and just empty the clip.
I just realized that we are watching Lethal Weapon from the point of view of Danny Glover.
Mm-hmm.
Because as Black people, we would never. We were like, you know what? We ain't got the time. We ain't got to deal with this. We ain't got to.
I tried to imitate his voice so much from Lethal Weapon, I never could pull it off. I'm too old for this shit, Riggs. I'm too old for this shit.
I knew, and I don't have it on
I feel
the
like
list.
you're doing a good job.
Yeah, I feel like
That's not bad.
I can't do it because it's like I don't really have a deep voice, so it's like every time I watch Lethal Weapon now, it's like, especially if you know word for word, you want to go ahead, go on, pull it. Why don't you do it? I'm like, it don't sound right.
There's nothing right like your
I
parents.
mean, it also sounds like Danny Glover saw too, so you know.
Yeah. I'm too old for this shit. It's nothing like your parents taking you to a drive-in theater, and the scene that makes them crack up the most is when Danny Glover's sitting on the toilet, and it just happens to be a pressure bomb. I'm just like, yeah, we're here now.
If that ain't a check your pants moment, I'm sorry. That is at that point you can let it all go. Nobody will judge you.
Exactly. Speaking of trilogies, they should have stopped RoboCop.
Yes. Dead or alive, you come with me.
Peter Weller, fantastic job.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely fantastic job. Did not do 3.
Oh, you didn't like Aerial RoboCop? You didn't like you didn't
Inspector Gadget with a real gun?
Pretty much.
Facts.
He was Rambo with a turbojet.
That was when you start to realize that after 3, they turned around and made a series. And I'm like, how did you make a series around an ultra-violent cyborg?
You don't.
Also, what did I say about
you don't, not well.
And a cartoon.
Also, on another note, what does that say about Detroit within 3 movies? Crime has not gotten any better.
Hello.
I'm just saying.
Like you framed a cop who's a really good one, decided that the corporation that was funding the police department was just as crooked, and they said, "Oh, here, use this technology to build a new cop to patrol our streets in Detroit and give us the most inefficient fueled car you've ever seen in your life."
Hey, that 92 Ford Taurus was life.
When you hear the mileage they had on that thing,
nope.
As an adult, you hear the mileage they had on that thing. I'm like, that is not good mileage.
No,
at
all.
But
you know what? That was actually a glimpse into our future of what happens when you give artificial intelligence choices, and the fact that you gave it rules to follow and it still broke them.
Is it bad that as an adult, I still don't know what the line, "I'll buy that for $1. Why is that so funny?"
We've been programmed.
They kept saying it and they were cracking up, and I'm like, what's so funny?
I'll buy that.
I'll buy that for $1. And I'm like, what is that, the tagline?
Absolutely. It's like in the generic, why was it always the generic bad guys? Like you had that one dude that looked like he had the receding hairline.
Oh, Red from the 70s show?
Yeah, thank you. Red Foreman. Red Foreman in
Jesus.
That's the 80s movies montage.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's always the balding or near bald guys that are like this.
It was him and Ron Howard's brother, who was like one of the thugs who had acid dumped on him, and he
just
got smashed by the car. And I'm like, that is a bad way to go. Help me, man! I'm like, nah, dude, your skin is falling off your bones. You're done.
I kind of feel bad for the first guy RoboCop shot, because he literally shot him in the nuts. That is my kind of cop, though. If it came down between saving a hostage and the only area you had was right at the bowling alley, then
came back in the wrong part of this conversation.
That is what it is.
Yeah, there was definitely some moments in RoboCop they really should have stopped after 2, because 3, I couldn't tell you what 3 was about anymore. That's how memorable it is. Although we never got another Action Jackson, and I actually enjoyed that. So
you know why? Because it's a black man that solves stuff. It's a black man that solved at the end of everything.
Carl Weathers was whooping ass.
That was right. That was right in between. Was that before or after Rocky?
That was after Rocky.
Okay, I was gonna say I was trying to remember if that was before or after Rocky.
My man did a whole front forward flipped over a driving taxi that was trying to run him down.
Oh, and that and Predator.
Yeah,
son of a bitch.
Yep. That was Carl Weathers' window right there.
Yeah.
That was his window right there.
I mean, with the biceps going, I said, man, if that ain't goals right there, just to sit there and just when you be sitting there having that modified handshake and that bulge is right there, it's just.
I thought goals was a New York thing. I didn't know that was all way.
No, it's across the country. Well,
wow.
Major cities anyway. But speaking of that little camp of guys like Carl Weathers and Sylvester Stallone, you couldn't do those two without mentioning good old Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Ooh.
What are they at now? 6?
Oh God,
it's
is
bad.
it 6?
I'll be back.
Yeah.
Again.
They really should have
That last
stopped.
one was number 6. They should have stopped.
They really should have stopped after 3.
Because they ran out of story.
No, actually, you could have had at least 4. Could have been great. Not as what we got.
Mm-hmm.
No.
But you could have had the post-apocalypse because they set it up perfectly for the 3rd one, right?
They tried to split up the timelines, and that's where it went. Then they had the TV show, which actually good. The TV show was actually really good.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Sarah Connor Chronicles, but the way they left it hanging, so
with Queen Cersei herself.
Yes.
But
showing up in the future of all places.
But it made no sense because the first one was basically protecting the mother before John was here. The second one was supposed to protect John. The third one
was the beginning of Skynet. Like Skynet actually happened.
And they could have done a 4th one to actually develop that. Instead, we just got whatever the hell that was with Christian Bale.
And surprise Common.
It
was. Common
I don't even remember that.
I don't even remember her being in that.
I don't even remember that.
No.
It just didn't make any sense the way they were going with it. Like at that point, you kept on going. You kept jumping back to the past so much. It's like, can we go to now? Skynet is present, and now John has to fulfill his destiny of being the salvation of humanity.
We should have seen that.
Because I think by the time they actually did, let me see, Rise of the Machines was the female Terminator. So by the time they did 4, supposedly Sarah Connor was killed.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was all over the place after that. Because the last one, Dark Fate, which by the way, really wasn't bad, but it was so far out of everything else that it was like, okay, when does this take place?
It's just so many plot holes in it. I'm surprised the timeline wasn't affected. That's just me. If everybody's jumping back to this specific points in time along this timeline, how do we not have paradoxes at this point? That's all I'm saying.
Because in Dark Fate, John dies. Like the mission is completed, and then the Terminator has nothing else to do but just live out the rest of his.
I think that Dark Fate restarted what you were saying before the timeline, so there wouldn't be a paradox. So we started right after Terminator 2.
But like Chris said,
I think that's what the plan was.
Right, but I feel like also they just like they just keep. I think Hollywood in and of itself, especially when they do legacy sequels, they keep on rehashing what has already worked instead of going new territory. Because if you look at Dark Fate's thought process, it's the same thing, like you said, of Terminator 2. It's exactly the same story beats. It's like, give us an actual progression of what the story should be. I'll
tell you what I feel bad for out of 2. I feel bad for Papa Joe. He died for no reason.
Yo, he's been through so much between Whitley and that. You're absolutely right. No wonder he.
That man literally died.
My man held on for nothing.
I'm like, the moment you hear,
I remember.
it's like the moment you hear Arnold Schwarzenegger character sit there and go, you know what? Why can't we stop Skynet? And he says the one line to me, which always sticks out in the Terminator movies: Skynet's inevitable. You cannot stop it. Why are we here at this freaking factory then?
Like, why don't you just steer it in this direction? Why don't you just do that? Like,
it's like, can we just switch the program? It's like Skynet is inevitable. It's what? It's inevitable. One more time? That Austrian accent is hard.
Stupid.
Look, I am watching Fubar on. I think it's on Netflix. It might be Netflix.
Yep,
Which
Netflix.
is actually a series. And I swear there's a scene. He says, Arnold does say, "Get out of here, get to the plane." And I'm like, all I heard was get to the chopper. Get to the chopper now. That's all I kept hearing.
A line that is
Down.
Get down, it's coasting clear. And I'm like, Austrian accent.
That Austrian accent was heavy as hell, wasn't it? Just
That comes to be for my mouth.
That's so funny. He's like, get to the chopper.
I should have played Gaston.
Yeah. Here's another one.
Oh man.
And we love
Well, you should be mine.
The Boys in Green, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. 1 is a nostalgic classic. 2 is just as well. But 3
was experimental as shit.
Man,
They tried.
They tried.
They tried to give us Turtles in Time, and nobody decided to check the NES version.
Is this the kids' version of the Godfather series?
Oh. And he's not
We're
wrong.
going back to feudal Japan.
But he's not wrong.
No.
Like 1's a classic, 2's a classic, 3.
I mean,
It's all right. Yeah.
I mean, The Godfather Part 3 wasn't Scorsese's best work.
I hear that to this day that Godfather 3 does not stand up to the other two. It just doesn't.
It's hard to you want that? I know it was your freedom.
But yeah, TMNT 2 or 3. What was it? I can't even remember the name of that title. It was like
TMNT. The CGI version. The CGI version was TMNT.
No, the live action, the puppet one. Because even then, like the puppet work changed in that one. When they go to feudal Japan, like the puppet work changed and everything.
Wow,
it looked
really bad.
Like the color shading was off. Like this is from the original.
Yeah,
that was fine. Practical effects and all, But when you get to that third one, you're just like they're like light green or something. Like they didn't have sun for a while out there in New York. Well, they didn't.
All I can sit there and say was there a budget problem between 2 and 3? I mean, did Vanilla Ice really cost that much?
Wait, I googled it real quick. First off, it's just called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3. There's no
subtitle.
Yeah. But the tagline on the poster is Ancient Japan, 1593, without a map, without a clue, without a pizza.
Yeah.
Oh, Domino's was
that explains it all.
You knew it was bad. I'll put it this way: you knew it was bad when Domino's didn't sign on for the third movie. It's like, nah,
we good. We good.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Two was our best year. Now, don't get me wrong. 2 was the best year for us. We appreciate that, but
we're going in a different direction. We want to do good.
We're gonna go.
Then they gave us the Michael Bay version, and it was just
God.
Poor Stephen Amell.
Although the elevator scene,
he really.
I gotta admit
that was the most Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles scene in that entire movie was them in the elevator. That was the most Four Brothers scene I've ever seen.
Why were they so brolic though? Jesus,
they were insanely brolic.
They had a Gold's Gym and the swords.
I get it. If Raphael was a little bigger, I get it because the rage and everything else. But
it was all down there on the Black Spartan workout plan,
right?
Yo, laugh. It's a laugh for me. Yo.
There was definitely from that CGI version, there was a couple standouts, but it wasn't enough. I don't know. I don't know if it's because it was Michael Bay led, because they gave us Krang. It did give us Krang, and then Shredder and Bebop and Rocksteady finally, because we never got them in the originals.
But it wasn't. I guess
it wasn't.
I was. I ain't gonna lie. I was expecting the anime series.
Yeah,
I was expecting too much from the animated series because Bebop and Rocksteady in the animated series had their own personalities versus Jurassic Park in a miniature form. That's about the best way to put that.
It was a lot. There was a lot to digest in there. I don't know.
Again, don't get me wrong. I get it because it was the 80s. It was campy. Really, cartoons turned to movies really weren't given that kind of shine that we're used to now. So I get they had to be careful in some areas because thank God they didn't do the original Ninja Turtles. Otherwise, we never see that.
Nope. Now, don't get me wrong. I've always enjoyed every iteration they've had, animated wise, because I'm a fan. At the end of the day, I'm a fan.
But the original one, though, could you imagine that one being a movie?
Now,
I mean, technically it would be Ninja Assassin, but
it would be.
It would technically be Ninja Assassin at this point, but still.
Ninja Assassin. I was like, hey, we got Casey Jones. All right. It's the guy from Law and Order.
It's time for Street Sharks.
You know what? I wouldn't be mad about it.
Vin Diesel. And
don't tell me that commercial that popped up in your head now.
Don't do that.
Oh, so that commercial. You look at that commercial now, you're just like, what the hell was going on?
That lets you know, hey man, you got to get the work how you can get it. It wasn't all about family then.
It's just like watch his powerful jaws as he clamps down, and I'm like, dude, it's a hand puppet. What are you talking about?
Just man, the rent was due.
Right.
You said those breakdancing videos he was making wasn't getting the checks cut.
He had to be a larger than life. He had to pretend to be a larger life Italian just to get the work.
Oh my God. So here's one that can be divisive. Redemption in some parts, yes. I wouldn't say stop at 3, which they didn't.
Let's go. Baby Mandalore, where you at, baby? Let's go.
2 seconds.
Oh my God.
Lady Mandalore said Domino's is still allowed in her heart.
There definitely are some moments in that one that that were standing out. Say what you want. You're a fan. We're all fans of Star Wars. We just are. We take the good with the bad. Most of the time we speak on it. We're not afraid to speak on it, but we're not, how do you say, not trashing it like some of the toxic camps.
They are.
The faces.
They are.
No. Fuck them last 3 movies. On the strength of everything. No. Them last 3 movies.
Let her
go straight to hell. I'm a lady.
It gave us Finn. It gave us Finn. Okay. Finn is a natural treasure. I'm not
gave us Poe. It gave us Finn and it gave us Poe.
Finn and Poe.
Okay, yes, Poe, true. Okay. You're right.
It gave us Finn and it gave us Poe.
Okay, and you know what? If they did something different, Kylo Ren, if they did something different with old girl Gwendolyn
with Gwendolyn Christie.
Captain Phasma.
Thank you.
I
underutilize it. Like they had some good ideas, but
well, first and foremost, they teased the black. First and foremost, let's call it what it is. They teased the Black Jedi and bamboozled us.
And did not
deliver. No, it wasn't a bamboozle.
It was. They were cheating. And I put it to, and I'm gonna give Cinematic Assassin his flowers because he changed my mind on something.
Okay.
When Rian Johnson took over for J.J. Abrams, and then J.J. Abrams came back, instead of him just trying to continue that story, he tried to retcon it. Mm-hmm. And it made me look at it in a little different light. And he did. He tried to correct it. He tried to course correct it and tell his story again, which I get it. As a director, I get. But
then you shouldn't have walked away from it.
Right.
Course correct.
Or you had a blueprint for the whole trilogy, and that should not have been just the director. That should have been the studio.
Yeah.
But again, I'll throw this out there. Would Dave Filoni and
Jon Favreau,
would they have done the same thing?
F&F?
Fuck no.
The F and F, no.
I love how you said that, Kira. Now, why is that?
Because they know how to tell a story, and they actually like the story they're telling.
And they also have a blueprint for it.
Yeah,
they also have a blueprint for it.
But that's my point, though. It's like that.
I got a bone to pick with you, Will. What? Please, I need you to lay out for me what was retconned in that storyline, because there's no correlation to that previous.
Here's the problem. No, I'm not talking the retcon. I'm saying the entire.
No, not you, Will. Watching Will. This one. This one right here.
I thought Kira was going to say that motherfucker for a second.
No. I was, but I didn't. I respect my coworkers.
I'm sorry. Wrong, Will. Go ahead, motherfucker.
Sorry. Yeah, you gotta break this one down for me, homie, because it ain't making no sense.
Nah. So, as my understanding, from day one, episode, what is it, 7, 8, 9. So it's supposed to be J.J. Abrams, then Rian Johnson, and then Colin Trevorrow. For some reason, there was not an established where we are and where it's supposed to end. So they let J.J. get his ish off with his damn mystery boxes. Within his own movie, they don't even know the answers. It's like when Lupita ends up with the lightsaber. It's like, how'd you get that? It's like, oh, that's a story for another time.
Another time.
He did not have an answer. That's why she said that. Like, so JJ does his thing. Then it hands off to Ryan. Ryan's pressed to like, what in this do I answer? Where do you actually want me to take this? Because again, there's not an actual endpoint in play. And then in the midst of it, Ryan does his thing, and Colin Trevorrow, I forget what movie he had before he got his Star Wars, but it bombed so bad. They was like, ooh, bro, we can't.
Here's your we're gonna put you a small role in this one.
We're gonna give you a severance package to just sit down over there. But now we need somebody else. JJ, you back up. And JJ stepped up like, oh damn, I gotta actually answer the questions I started. Shoot. And what happened in the last one? I wasn't paying attention. Dang. All right.
This is what we're gonna do.
Isn't that just crappy right there? Where instead of you just clearing out the slate and actually giving us a complete story, you basically Justice Leagued it.
Oh, damn!
The fact that Will's laughing. That's all I needed. The fact that he laughed and knew exactly what I went with.
You just cursed at us all, bro.
Damn!
You just cursed at us all.
Oh my god! Okay,
because it's the reason why.
Damn, that's a low bar.
But it's a low ass movie. That shit was trash.
But here's the thing, though. But the fact that you want to give us a new trilogy, okay, cool. You want to start off where Return of the Jedi left off, or at least the space in between, because it doesn't immediately start after Return of the Jedi. It's been some years. Fine. You want to introduce another possible child of the Force. Fine. You want to say that the Stormtroopers are just programmed children out of the First Order. Fine. Like, give us a better story than you did initially. Because I still say this, Kylo Ren is nothing more than what those writers thought that toxic Star Wars fans are. Moody, unstable, highly destructible.
Pretty much.
Toxic Star Wars.
I still would have loved to see more of him. I can't even lie to you.
And I'll put it to you like this. I will not. Well, go ahead, lady. Go ahead.
No, a better version of more of him. Yeah. That was not the Kylo Ren from any books that I have ever attempted to try to think about reading. That man was not this dude.
So let's talk about that, because I think that was probably one of their first mistakes. I get that you couldn't use all the books as canon. That I get. However, you didn't want to count any of it as canon.
Pretty much.
because the way we're looking at it, we're never going to get Mara Jade ever.
That's all, baby.
There's no way. There's no way to spin that now. There's just no way to spin it. And even Mark Hamill has gone on record about Luke's final act, and I'm like, yo, you mean to tell me he made the same mistake that Obi-Wan made? Like he didn't see that coming? Like even he had a problem with it. I don't have a problem with Rey being a character, but the way they wrote her character, I had a problem with.
I mean, you just don't go from you kind of fast forward her story. You kind of fast forward her story in Rise of Skywalker. All of a sudden now she's on the same level as Luke.
Absolutely.
As far as Force, she's on the same level.
Or stronger.
Shit, the way they even had her do with the Force in the first one was ridiculous.
Yeah.
She was able to talk to them and no. I was like, what? I literally was looking at, I cannot believe
But to me, that was the tease, though. That's why I was just like, for a lot of us, we want to see a different story, a different telling of the story. Or if you're trying to bring about the Jedi, if you're trying to bring about the Jedi at the same time you're trying to bring about the Sith, okay, fine. But it is amazing, again, how we saw The Mandalorian, how that came to be. And that's all based off the books. All of it. Boba Fett needs to go back to the books, but Mandalorian got the books.
I think what they were attempting to do was pull away from. They were trying to pull away from the lore in general. They didn't do it smoothly, and I think that's the majority of the problem. They were in such a rush to just try to get away from what Star Wars originally was. They got away from what Star Wars originally was. They didn't understand that you don't have to. It's okay to take the works from somebody, read them, and then figure out what you can take from it and how you can build from it. Because I agree, there's way too many books that have a different iteration of Luke or all this other kind of stuff. No, but there's no one true line to follow.
Instead of trying to make, I mean, there's nothing wrong with making your own path, but at the same time, you have plenty of source material to use that you could have said, okay, this is where we're going to go with it. We've told Luke's story. We're fine with that. Let's see. And if my memory serves me correctly, but the original idea was to have Princess Leia go for the Chancellor job, and feel that power, because that was a power vacuum.
Yeah.
He dies, there's a power vacuum there. So of course she's gonna okay, if I don't feel this role, someone worse will take place, and I have to take that over. I would have loved to see more Leia training as a Jedi, but not really taking on the role as a Jedi, and just saying, hey, I need to take care of this political stuff.
Right.
Luke being that old man who's the hermit, like I said, Mark Hamill didn't really care for that version. Because it's been done already. I get that's how you want to start it, that last set of sequel, that last set of prequel or sequels or whatever, or trilogy. But then you can steer away from it. You're like, okay, yeah, you got this kid, no one knows who she is, and blah blah blah. But then you got Finn, you got Poe. You have a story.
You got a lineup.
You literally have the lineup. Right. You have the canvas. You have the canvas to tell a story that you really could tell to where it could be great. But again, like y'all said, it is amazing that it's almost as if they want to go back to the bread and butter.
Thank you. They were too scared.
Exactly.
And that's also what Hollywood is doing right now anyway. It's nothing. It's all about the legacy sequels. It is not about actually doing something that is original, especially as a movie. Maybe in TV, but as a movie, no.
And I think that's why what we see on Disney Plus, thank God for the F&F crew. That's how I'm knowing them as the F&F crew. That they're giving us Clone Wars, Mandalorian,
Bad Batch, Skeleton,
the Bad Batch, Skeleton, because they have something built. They were like, yeah, we don't have to tell that side.
Their story.
We can tell
other stories,
tell the stuff that's going on during, after, before, whatever. but there's a world there, and they get that, and I can appreciate that because you get it.
Yeah, it's a galaxy. You have a galaxy. There are people that are central to the Star Wars story that have never touched certain fucking worlds.
Yeah,
they don't know everything that they haven't been to Mandalore.
Yeah,
none of them have been to Mandalore.
Right.
I get mad. I'm sorry. I get passionate.
But see, like that's why, like with Kenobi, Kenobi's a great example of we're gonna do this one and done. Because of course something happened in between. Of course he's probably gonna. If anybody would want to know, I wonder how she's doing. I'm busy watching this kid. I wonder how she's doing and what happened.
Right.
One and done. Let's get it out the way. Boom, done. You introduced a couple new characters. Boom. Let's go there.
With them. Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. I didn't like the Leia angle in Kenobi.
Oh, you didn't like that? You didn't like Leia?
Wait. You didn't like Leia, or you didn't like the story? Yeah, that's talking on my nerves.
The story. Okay.
The story.
Wow.
Yeah.
I could have dealt with the story. I didn't like.
I would. I think it's actually what we're talking about is fatigue. I'm like, you could have actually had something completely different. We did not need to see Leia as a little girl. We could have seen something completely different with Kenobi. Even just if you take her out of it and do everything else,
it still sets up a very good story.
That to me would have been more captivating.
And I think that was the. I think that was
everything else.
I think that was the. It's not really. She just happened to steal the show. I think that's what it was.
But you also got to look at it this way too, because again, that was an experiment. I keep on. I'm gonna use this word a lot because that's what they did. Kenobi was an experiment. It's one and done run. There's gonna be others. There's gonna be others that follow it. But Kenobi was the popular one. So, of course, to do him, to bring back Hayden Christensen and see all the love they got during D23 and that we got a nice limited series run out of it, that was the experiment. So, what's next? I mean,
you got Keller and Beck. We still got to tell that story.
Yeah. I mean, there's still other characters you can do. And even more so that you can tell different character stories. But like Lady said, that's the challenge. It's like you're too scared. Like I would love to have a Mara Jade runoff. It can literally just be. It could be a limited run, and let that be the end of it. Not
all of them have to be continuing series. Not all of them have to be a continuing movie line or anything. It could just be the runoff. This is here. This is here.
Yeah.
This is here.
And this let it
make. They got money to making subscriptions to sell.
Let's stop putting it on the Mandalorian and the kids back for me.
But that's the reason why I think Visions. That's why
I love the two. I love the two of them, but let's stop putting it on their back. Like he already had to carry his own show and Boba Fett. That's
what I'm saying. That's where Star Wars Visions is so helpful because it actually introduces those and the same thing. It's a job application. Let's be honest. It's like saying this is what we can do if you give it to us. But we see in season 1 and season 2, they're telling different stories. So where people are going back and searching, like, wait, who's this character? And then curiosity leads them to the story. They go from there.
Right.
That's all it is.
So speaking of, like Lainey said, speaking of this really did not need a fourth film. And it's The Matrix.
Ooh. That's a fucking fact.
God damn, they fucked up that whole on the strength of one movie. They fucked up the whole series.
We could have left it at 3 and been
done.
Just fine.
Because 3 was the perfect ending.
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
Like you pretty much you just gave us The Matrix Resurrection and told it for Trinity's sake. And it was like we didn't need that story.
No.
There was nothing in that story we needed.
But 4 was a money grab. 4 was a money grab.
I have a theory, and it's a very light theory. I think they made that movie that bad on purpose. Because if it did really well, they absolutely honey, hey sweetheart. If it did well, you're getting another movie. They didn't want to be a part of that. And what better way than to not only just be bad in general in a form of storytelling, but to also insult the studio that's making the movie for you.
Taking it on purpose.
Yeah, I absolutely believe that.
It came at the wrong time.
I think my understanding was that they were going to make it without the Wachowskis.
Yeah.
And then Lana was like, "Nah, you gotta relax.
Yeah, you're not gonna do it."
Because they were going to move forward with some sort of Michael B. Jordan as Neo situation, and then she stepped in, was like, "All right, y'all want a fourth movie? Fine." And that's why she wrote what she wrote, and that's why so many digs at the company in it, because she's like, "Listen, y'all want this fourth movie? All right, cool.
I got it."
Yeah, they was going meta on that one. I was like,
yeah, but it like I said, it just, I mean, if you look at Revolutions, that was the whole point. I mean, Neo wasn't the one. If you really think about it, I mean, it literally says in so many words, he wasn't the one. Smith was. And what does the one do? Return back to the system. All right, that's it. Cancel credits. We out.
Let's face it, Matrix Reloaded left the. I don't even know if it's a bad taste. It was a weird taste because nobody asked. Who was it? The programmer. Nobody asked for that. Like, how do you give us this massive chase scene? Massive. And you said, all right, hit the brakes. We're going to go in this room with this little old white dude who's just rambling. And I've tried watching that scene.
The pop assassin.
And I'm like, I've tried watching. That movie came out, 03. Here I got man. That came out in 03. I tried watching it a couple years later. I said, okay, maybe I can appreciate it. My taste might have changed. Nope. It's still
that pompous ass. You remind me of every professor I ever went to college with. Just you do not know. I designed this.
You bring up the architect. I want to use this moment to give a shout out. This might be too early or too soon. Let's just keep fingers crossed for the situation. But shout out to Jonathan Majors, because we get to the end of Loki, we're expecting some sort of wild, crazy fight. And it's just like 45 minutes of my man just blah, 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 blah. And we were engaged the entire time.
And he made it. That's why he made that scene. And I'm like, that's how you do a monologue.
Colonel Sanders in his multi-monitor room, and we were bored as hell.
Well, you gotta think. Well, I mean, first off, Jonathan Majors, despite his situation, still a talented actor.
He's still out.
I mean, he literally went from his personality shifts through the whole thing was awesome. I mean, the whole time it's like you went from laughing to demanding to conniving to sinister, back to laughing, back to joyful, back to warning. It's like, wait. What's
going on? But that's but see, now you see the difference between you see the difference between the two monologues. One had you engaged. The other one was drawn out.
See, this is why that architect should have been a James Spader moment. That should have we needed Raymond Reddington as the architect.
I will listen to him do his
my
monologue.
God. Oh, that is
Raymond
perfect.
Reddington as the architect, and he starts telling a story. Let me tell you.
Yes.
Let me tell you how the first Matrix.
And it probably would have made sense.
What?
It was a beautiful soliloquy. It was perfect. It was harmonious.
Because you know something. Hell, I'll give you one higher. Giancarlo Esposito.
Oh Lord, you got it.
Let me tell you a story.
Now you really in for a ride.
Just the look on his face. I created balance.
That's you, Kira.
Him.
Zaddy.
Look, the minute
whatever you say, Zaddy.
The minute Neo walks into that room and you see either James Spader or Giancarlo Esposito, I guarantee you that theater is going to be like,
whoops. You know what? Let's do creme de la creme of 3. Papa Pope.
Papa Pope.
Hello, Neo. You must be wondering.
Make them the Trinity.
You must be wondering.
If that was 3. I thought it was just one person. No. You think the architect was one individual? Is a Trinity.
Now that's a what the hell.
Still got to cast the Living Tribunal in Marvel.
There it is.
That was the Living Tribunal. That was the Living Tribunal.
Feige, get on the line with them. That's the Living Tribunal already. They've been mentioned twice in the series. You gotta make it happen now. James Spader, Giancarlo Esposito, and Papa Pope. You gotta make it happen. Joe Morton, you gotta make it happen. Another series another film trilogy series that kind of lost its way. The Hobbit: Battle of the Five Armies. You had
That
a
thing was so boring.
you had a fantastic ending with Desolation of Smog. Oh,
Money grab. Money grab.
It was so,
that was awesome.
It was so boring.
Then you get Battle of the Five Armies, and it's just kind of like,
that was the film studio just not sitting there going, you know what? After Desolation of Smog, we probably could have just stopped right there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we could have stopped.
They saw dollar signs.
It just, I didn't get that.
They tried to make like 6 hours of movie out of like a 12-page coloring book. Like,
damn.
So hard to. It was so hard to do.
I mean, don't get me wrong. The Hobbit's probably one of my favorite books, but you know, to see the Desolation of Smog, to see that's all I needed. All I needed to see was Smog, and the fact that how they did him and Benedict Cumberbatch, and just like the whole thing about the gold being cursed.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. I was in the theater giggling because my friends was in there, and he was like, "What's so funny?" I was like, "It's Sherlock. Mm-hmm. It's Sherlock and Watson." No one sees this.
But that's the thing, though. It's like I said, it goes back to money grabs again. Like, no matter how you cut the mustard, it's like, what was the whole point of the Battle of the Five Armies?
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, you're really setting up for the Fellowship of the Ring. I mean, well, not really. I mean, well,
for the record,
20 years later, you're setting up for it.
For the record, I'm still waiting for the two of them to meet in the Marvel universe. I want to see Strange and Martin Freeman's character. Like Martin Freeman's just like,
have we met
familiar?
Not yet.
I heard they don't really.
They don't vibe.
Yeah.
Don't crash the dreams.
I'm not mean to. I wanted to because I wanted to, and I'm like, how could you not have that happen yet?
Let's see a shield agent and Doctor Strange.
Oh, so Lord. Is it they don't get along, or is it Cersei and the other guy from Game of Thrones? They don't get along.
That's a hatred. That's a
that's that we can't even be in the same room.
I don't think they have had relations with one another, so I'm gonna say it's a little less severe. Less severe.
Cersei and old boy didn't. Cersei and old boy, that was thank God they weren't using real swords.
God damn.
Is this a British Deezus and Mero? Can't have nice things.
Yeah.
We were so close with those two. We were so close. It was like, y'all was perfect. Damn. Perfect. What happened?
Is there anything we can do?
Right.
Just as soon as one of us gets
on. HBO.
Just as soon as black people get on, we need y'all to stick together. We need y'all to stick together.
Just make it even across the board. We'll be fine. I will tell you some movies that had great sequels, bad trilogy. Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man 2.
Oh God, that was so.
Nobody liked the dance scene, huh?
No, the
Spider-Man 2 was amazing.
Thrusts, no.
I'm thinking 3, but 2 was good. 2 was good with Doc Ock.
2 was perfect.
Yeah.
Wow, I sound like Homelander when I was getting ready. That was like perfect.
I thought it was good. Alfred Molina playing Dr. Otto Octavius, and the fact of how they made him so close to Peter, I like that.
Yeah. Phil Lamar was on the train. People missed it. Still a great scene. That entire sequence.
Oh, the subway crash. Oh, the subway scene where literally
diarrhea boot pants.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you took hell on that one, boy. And then when he was done, he's like, all right, he wiped himself out. Let me give him a little double tap.
My mind goes back to Superior Spider-Man all the time. He was
and then when he passes out on the train and
they carried him out, they crowd surfed his body back in.
Man,
and it was like he's just a kid. He's just a kid.
He's 30. Shut up. He has a mortgage, sir.
Yeah. His 401k is quite well endowed.
Right. Shout out to William Dafoe for giving us the best goblin ever. This man gave us a goblin without a mask. That is impressive and proud.
And even 30 years later, it still worked.
It still pops, man.
Hell, even his villain speech when he has him tied up on the roof.
Pay that pumpkin eater.
They love to see a hero fall.
And I'm like, that's good. No, he's not lying.
No. It's the mirror scene for me. That was my favorite.
Oh, when he sat there and he said, I'm going to take away the one thing away. I'm going to take the one thing away from you that's going to make you a hero. And he throws that grenade off, man.
Just when you managed to piss me off.
And I'm like, dude, that's good. I like it. So,
but I love how Jamie Foxx came back and said, look, when that man goes into character, he scares all of us. He said, look, I'm a black man. I don't mean being no punk, but if you ever heard that man in public go into that voice, that is a switch.
Oh, you're a scientist, you say? Well, I'm a bit of a scientist myself. Oh my God. This one, fantastic sequel. Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
Yes.
Hands down. Damn good sequel.
Absolutely.
Even though we knew who the Winter Soldier was, the way it played out.
Who the hell, Bucky?
Kara spell it.
Damn. America's ass.
I'm like, come on. It seemed like you want to say something.
Damn. And then the arms on the helicopter. I don't care. I didn't hear anything anybody was saying.
All you saw was arms and chest, didn't you hear?
My wife was sitting next to me.
It's all good.
And when he did the thing with the helicopter and the thing, she's like, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not even mad at you about that.
I mean,
that's impressive.
I remember being in the theater and being like,
now, Chris, I got one better. The fact that if you look like what I did, I looked around the movie theater while that scene was going on. Not one woman blinked or moved.
No,
absolutely.
They were all lean forward, mouths open, just like.
It's literally a scene where the women were stuck for one reason and the fellas were stuck for a whole nother reason because they were just like, this motherfucker just held back a whole helicopter one-handed.
I'm gonna be honest.
Is that one eyebrows up like
just
good? Kara, which one did you get more that one or when they took off the shirt in the first one?
I'm an arms girl. I'm weird.
That is not weird.
Do not miss arms day. Do not miss leg day with me.
This is a non-judgmental zone, Kara.
I do not care.
I mean, listen, Holly Alwell even said that wasn't even in the script when she touched him.
No, it wasn't. It really wasn't.
Yeah, she said it wasn't even in the script. She was like,
she did it for the culture.
There you go. Like that.
Not for the culture.
She did it.
Here's a fun fact. Christopher Jamal Evans likes the sisters too. So there it is.
I bet he do. He better.
His middle name is Jamal. He had no choice.
Are you serious?
His
middle name is Jamal.
Nah, I'm about to. No.
Listen,
somebody.
Jamal,
Dante Evans.
That legend only get bigger if he went to HBCU and then you realize
like they've had him. They've got paparazzi. They've got footage of him out, like just out, and he was getting some sister's number. And I'm like, oh, okay, you really are Captain America, aren't you? You don't, my man.
My man.
Like, I always thought segregation was wrong.
It's Robert, y'all. Stop it.
I hate you.
Robert still counts.
Oh,
it still counts. Christopher Robert Evans. That's literally on the line. It still counts.
It's still there. Hey, that man said he does not discriminate.
I know more black Roberts than I do white ones. I know 2 Bobs. I know like 7 Roberts. So,
oh man.
So it still counts, but yeah, and I think the scene where it's when he was out partying or something, and you could tell. And fellas, y'all can back me up on this. You know the light jog you do when you know you got that number.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is.
little pep in your step.
Yeah, he was like,
you are dang near strutting. You are dang near strutting at that point.
Got it.
Secured the bag.
Secured the bag.
Like Magneto. Let me not brag too loud. She gonna be sitting there saying, "That's right." Yeah, I ain't ashamed. I was strutting like hell.
Hey, I did the strut when that's how I did it. Hey, look, we do what we all done.
That's cute.
Me doing it got me married for 20 years. So there it is. So, The Dark Knight. Better than the Dark Knight Rises.
First two, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Agreed.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
And it's not for the reason. It's not because of Christian Bale. It's all on Heath Ledger.
I think not just Heath Ledger. I think that movie was just sick in just every way possible.
It was the sound, it was the direction, it was the fact that Joker. They made Joker really into a intellectual mind person because his story changed, and you can tell his story changed to everybody. Mm-hmm. The whole thing is like, it always starts off with the mental trigger. You want to know how I got these scars? You always that mental trigger, and then he goes
changing the story.
Yeah, he doesn't hear stories like, especially walks up to Rachel Dawes. I once had a wife, a beautiful wife. It's like it is. First off, I mean, the fact that Heath Ledger, that dude, Jesus, he went to some places with that role. Good,
yes.
True.
And as much as we miss him, I still got to congratulate him. That was probably the minute I seen him light the money on fire. He's like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm only burning my half." And I'm like, "We dealing with somebody different."
But
different.
Gotham deserves a better class of criminal. I was like,
I'm gonna give it to him.
Just the whole line, just that.
It's just a great performance.
Yeah, that and the magic trick.
And they use the line. And the fact that
you did not see that coming. I'm not gonna lie. It was like,
neither did the pencil.
I'm gonna make it disappear.
Hey, one of the few times I've seen Michael Jai White shook. I just was like, "Yo, wait a minute."
But I do like the fact that they use lines from One Bad Day. I do like the fact they did from a comic book standpoint. It's just like no difference between me and you. One bad day. It's like, damn. And I'm mad as a comic book fan. I'm mad that you used that line, but it still worked.
It still fit. It still fits.
But it didn't fix baby voice.
I want to say, as a Baltimorean, I appreciate the third film for blowing up the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Damn. You are a Ravens fan. That hatred is real. Look. But as a Titans fan, I do agree with you.
See what there it is. I think between the Titans, the Ravens, and Browns, they were all just like, you know what?
We ain't mad at that. Y'all can rebuild.
Good move.
Yep. Because if it was the Knicks and the Heat, I definitely would talk about that if it was Miami.
See?
So
that's a good move.
Oh, you mad?
Chicago, actually.
Gang.
Oh.
I'm not a Knicks fan no more, but when I was a kid, oh my God. So I was deep in that Knicks Miami stuff or deep in that Knicks Chicago stuff. So yep.
Okay.
Good Lord, Knicks and Miami. Now, that was street ball.
That
was basketball.
No fouls. No fouls called unless there was
no blood.
Suspensions galore. No I was just like, we out here boxing. I'm like, yo, we got a game.
When the NBA was good.
Yeah.
Reggie Miller can still go to hell. I'm gonna just I'm still on site. I don't care.
Wait. I gotta find this out. I gotta find this out. Why do you hate Reggie Miller so much?
Don't do that. Don't do that.
You want me to talk about why I hate Reggie?
Do that.
No. All right.
Hey,
real quick.
We hear the blurred out. I'm not going to talk about my ongoing feud with Reggie Miller.
Thank you.
Okay. You know what you did, and you know
exactly
you was wrong.
Why we hate him.
Listen. We can have this chat after the show. But it's okay because Reggie Miller wasn't even the nicest basketball player in his household. So
that is a story I must. That is a story I must know.
Facts.
I feel like I need to get his cup for this tea.
It was like, whatever, Reggie. Let's go back to Cheryl. What?
No, everybody likes sister more than you.
Sister had him in a torture rack his whole life.
Oh my God. I'm like, oh, you didn't even have to announce who you were. We recognize you are a Miller. Thank you.
That's why we like Cheryl more than you.
Right.
Dang, Cheryl was the favorite.
Cheryl ended up being the fan favorite. Shout out to, before we get out of here, there's tons of trilogies and whatever Fast X is now. And
you know what? It wasn't bad.
I'm not saying it is bad. Boy. It's not. It's just entertaining.
I was
what it
fantastic.
Is. Here, I was going to see it.
Where am I?
But
I was going to go see it here.
Because look, you're talking to somebody who's watched all 3 Expendables, and I'm like, all right, you guys can stop now. We don't need any more.
Is there a 4 coming?
Yeah, they're trying to make it with the
They've
girls.
been trying. I'm about to say, they've been trying.
They've been pushing it.
But
before we get out of here,
Fast and Furious movie, I feel like the Emperor.
That's another one. Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters.
Wait a minute.
Afterlife is good. Afterlife is good.
Yeah, we're gonna say Ghostbusters. Never mind.
Afterlife is good. Two was kind of. But Afterlife,
y'all shit on 2. 2.
Y'all are
Two the joint with Bobby Brown, right?
2 told me
joint with Bobby Brown, yes.
Yeah.
2 taught me never to go to New York.
That Bobby Brown one was busting. But
we just knew Bobby Brown was gonna have a whole acting career after being a doorman.
I mean, dang. Wait, how many movies? Wait, Die Hard, Ghostbusters. Wasn't he in another one?
Between Thin Line Between Love and Hate.
Yeah, Martin Lawrence.
Wait, what was
something?
Yeah, he would remember because Martin Lawrence and him were the club owners.
Yeah,
and that was his boy. They were
Bobby Brown was in Die Hard.
Yeah.
Wait, was he?
He's a limo driver.
No. That's a different
no, he's not.
That's a different dude.
Baby.
That's not him. I don't know who that was.
That's not him. I know who the guy is.
That's not him.
No, that is not him.
It be. Don't it though? Say to be your old people.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
We're gonna give a shout out to Afterlife is really good. I like Afterlife. It's fun. And then it does pay homage to Harold Ramis. Rest in peace. It was a very nice capper to all that. So, and I like to. Don't get me wrong. I like to. Anytime you got to name a baby Oscar, it's still weird to me. I was with Bill Murray on that one. He was like, "You named him Oscar."
The tub will still scare children this day. A moving tub that looks like it's going to open and close on you. You know how many kids didn't want to get into a tub after they saw that?
I will tell you this: going in the movie theater and seeing the pink ooze, and it got Ray, and I'm like, "Damn it! It's always Ray. What is with?" First is the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Now is the pink slime. Ray, go sit down. Go sit in the corner.
Ray had some things going on in life that he just couldn't talk to people about.
Like sleeping with an angel, apparently. What was that?
Ray's always doing something.
Who will tell that to? Real quick. Who will believe you?
That was not an angel.
Ray stayed in some mess.
That part.
I thought the most safest, harmless thing in the world. The same Marshmallow.
It's like Ray. Peter was looking at him like this
motherfucker.
But that scene in the Afterlife will always tear me up, though. I can't lie. When they did that and had that side by side,
especially when they looked over, like they were like
all started nudging each other, like yo.
But they weren't shocked.
Yeah.
They were just like, yo, look who decided to show up.
I mean, we are living in a ghost place, so.
Yeah.
I mean, you were sitting on a minefield of ghost traps. I mean, forget your power bill.
He had a cornfield. I'm like,
of just all ghost traps. I don't even want to see that man's electric bill personally.
Egon was on. Hey, look, knowing Egon, he had a way to work around that. Like, yeah, he
was off the grid big time.
That man probably had a nuclear reactor in one of those silos.
It was like, you looked at the house. The house looked like trash, but I'm like, trust me, it's nothing what you think.
But it can continue though. I mean, after Afterlife, I hope it does. I mean, they still say it's in development, but I would love to see a continuation of that.
The female version.
They
I
did
like
dirty.
I love that cast.
He needed a better story.
No, the women individually of themselves in another property, in another like bridesmaids property, I will give you all my money all day long. That
why they haven't
the way they handled that for
they just needed a better story. They just needed a better story. That's all.
Yeah, because they work great together. Like they're even with Melissa
chemistry
McCarthy,
was really good.
Yeah, like Melissa McCarthy's been on SNL so many times with that cast that she's practically part of that cast. So them working together, I was all in. I'm like, it's not them. It was just bad writing. It was like it was never them.
It didn't have a straight man. Like everyone was the funny one. It was like
somebody. There wasn't a straight laced person, right? There wasn't a serious person. There wasn't an Egon in the group,
right?
No, they were all. But once again, like Lady Mandela said, I will take them in any cast. Like because I know I'm in for a good time. And then please give us another bridesmaid. Why didn't we get that with those 4?
I don't know what's going on.
That is a missed opportunity. They're still here.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna shout out Psycho Image Films, Afro Cocoa Puffs, and Sixth Wikage for this dope visual short film at Lover's End. I'm gonna show it again before we get out of here, but check it out.
We still missed Theater 3000 thing one day.
I am the monster you created. You ripped out all my parts. And worst of all, for me to live, I gotta kill the part of me that saw. And I needed you more. I hope you know we had everything, and you broke me and left these pieces. I want you to hurt like you hurt me today, and I want you to lose like I lose when I play what could have been. Could have been. Why don't you love who I am? What we could have been. I am your ghost, a fallen angel. You ripped out all my parts. I couldn't care what invention you made me, 'cause I was meant to be yours. could have been.
Shout out to Psycho Image Films.
Damn.
Yeah, Psycho Image Films, Six Kage, Afro Cocoa Puffs. They.
Yeah. Well done. You trying to do a trailer?
They ate that.
I hate you. I hate you. Wait. Will this one right here. I'm gonna talk to you later.
I do not team.
Will been sniggering the whole show.
Right.
One more piece of news for those who are either just now tuning in or didn't catch it. We got some good news. That's right. The crew that tells you like it is going to be at BlurCon. We're going to have our own very own panel for the first time ever. Details coming soon on time and place, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah, well,
what's going around in these parts? What's going around in these parts? We got things cooking over here. I'm just saying. Shout out to everybody that's been putting out some of the dope projects. Shout out to Queen Jasmine and Lord Carlos over there at the Black Fade Group. They just had some dope photos they just put up. They look amazing. Black Fade was a beautiful event. Black Mermaid was just as beautiful, and Star Wars Day was equally as beautiful. So that was May. Damn, May was stacked.
Yeah.
May was stacked.
Your girl needs a nap.
Right. Just imagine. Now, if I had done everybody's cosplay, I kind of don't miss that part of it. Like getting everybody's cosplay and premiering them every day. Mm-hmm. Boy, my phone was like, I can't take it anymore. So before we get out of here, you know how we do. Start with Lady Mandalore. Tell them where they can find you.
Well, hello, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I have my still brand new baby podcast called Roomful of Blurs, which you can find right here on the good old YouTubes. And I do that live on Sundays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also find me on the Instagrams with the same little handle here and on Fanbase. And I have my monthly... I have an audio room that I hold once a month. Ooh, it's coming up actually. First Saturday of the month. Wherever you are, if you would like to join that app on Fanbase, you can join me in that room on Saturdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as well. First Saturdays of every single month. And I have one more podcast. It's called Child of Mandalore. Where I talk about the history of Mandalore. Please, by all means, tune into that. You can find that on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the Google thing. Look me up. I also have a link tree if you go to my bio on Instagram. You'll find all of my things there.
Go show some love. Go show some love. Come on, people. We out here. Okay. Geek by Heart, our resident horror writer, and the one that she's kind of like the griot of things that go bump in the night.
Hey. Listen, I try. I am Lainey. I am from Geek by Heart. Me and my husband do a lot of reviews, especially trailer reviews, and we are getting back to the movie reviews as well. Okay, I also write for blurredeyeview.org. .com. I keep saying that wrong.
No, it's not org. It's not org.
For the horror reviews, because I love horror movies. Looking forward to the Boogeyman coming out this weekend. Definitely want to start to get back on that too. You can find us at Geek by Heart on YouTube. You can find us at Geek by Heart at IG. You can find us at Geek by Heart on TikTok as well. We are on Twitter, but kind of since Twitter has gone to hell, So, you know, we really are basically on IG, YouTube, and TikTok. So just say hello and share and subscribe. Boom.
Yeah, YouTube has kind of gone down the the poop shoot of things.
It is a dark place over there. That's the light that Prime avoids.
Jeez.
That being said, I am Black Spartan, otherwise known as BlackBox447 on all socials. You can pretty much find me almost anywhere as I do reviews on everything that I watch, that I read, that I play, and gym stuff, because apparently I have a workout regimen that has you looking swole, according to Will. I want to know what that regimen is, because I ain't getting paid for it, by the way. But
use the 5th Ninja Turtle. Raphael, Angelo, Donatello, and Bach.
I'm not mad about that.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man, I wasn't ready for that. I was not ready for that. Okay, let's try this again because Will broke me. Pause.
Joe Tonello.
Joe.
Oh dear Lord.
Yeah, you and Joe.
Between him and Joe, I swear. That means I do a couple podcasts. My first one is my daily news and political podcast called How the Frack We Got Here. That is every Wednesday and Saturday, that can be found on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. I also have a video game podcast called Get Bit with my co-host Joe Tonello every Friday. They can also be found on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Both podcasts can be found on everywhere that you can hear podcasts at, your Google podcasts, your Apple podcasts, your Spotify, your Anchors. And also very soon, because we are joining a Room Full of Birds and Blurred's Eye View that already on Opulence Radio. We always will very soon be joining Always Press Record, so we'll be there as well. So the ship is joining the fleet.
Hey, gang, gang.
I think I really am.
As Chris would love to say, I'm the captain now.
I really think I am the Captain Reynolds of this whole thing now.
You are.
I feel good. I feel good.
You are.
Nah, you could be Luffy. Just be Luffy and call it a day.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie. I'll take that ship any day.
No. That don't mean I watched it.
The One Piece reference.
I gotta send you something about how you can watch it and make it your own.
Baby, let me save the email. You ain't got to send it.
I'm about to do it.
The invitation song has been sung. The doors of the church are now open.
You give them an inch, they go fucking wild. I made one word reference to that.
Wait, you know what that means? You know what that means? It means we're wearing her down.
Yeah. No, the fuck it ain't.
Oh, we are slowly getting to concession.
Wow. And only child Capricorn Slytherin head, it ain't happening. Ain't happening.
Man, we watch One Piece. We're patient.
What you got, cinematic sense?
Yes, it is I. Will be watching the lazy one of the group because I don't do anything on social. However, tides may be shifting.
Oh,
the seas may be parting, if you will.
No, Lord.
So go ahead, preemptively follow your boy at Mayhem Media. That's MAYEHEM Media. That's on all platforms, including the nearly deceased Twitter. I do film reviews, TV reviews. I talk about comics and whatever the hell else I want. You can also catch a boy writing trailer reviews for purefandom.com. You can catch me writing action film reviews for blurredeyeview.org and me. And I think that's all the stuff I actually do. But more stuff's to come, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Am I funny? Whatever. So before I get out of here, as I always stress, mental health is important. So definitely take your meds and go ahead and take that PTO. And whatever else you do in this world, lean into laughter, lean into learning, and lean into love, and we're going to make this thing a better place.
Mm-hmm. Yo, everybody, it is your man on the wall, the captain of the ship, the king up north, the kid on the wall, the king on the wall, the man on the wall, the Papa Bear, the blurred world. I keep growing monikers. I really am Nick Fury. This shit. You can catch us every Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Thursdays, 9 p.m. Eastern, same channels. But if you really want to keep track with us, go to IG. Hit us up on IG, Blurred's Eye View, all one word. You'll find that link tree in the bio, and it'll send you to the Facebook page, Blurred's Eye View Podcast, including listening to us on Opulence Radio. Go to opulenceradio.com. You can listen to us. We lead the charge on Blurred Out Thursdays, and you can listen to us on Man Cave Mondays. And I was seriously think it's another day. I never get that third day right. You can also check us out on Twitch, Blurred's Eye View 1. But really, you can always watch us, listen to us on the YouTube channel, everywhere, including Always Press Record. Shout out to Trey Lawson out there. Always Press Record, APR TV on Roku and Amazon Fire, and I want to say he's getting ready to have it on Windows 11 pretty soon. So, the moves are being made. People, pay attention. The ship is coming, as Kira said. Apparently I'm the Luffy of this ship too. So, and if y'all know how Luffy roll, no man left behind.
I have a new mission. Find Chris a straw hat.
That's
I have a new mission.
Well, I was at the store today, and I'm looking, and I'm like,
give me a month. Give me a few weeks. I got an idea where I can find one.
You can get the straw hat in Little Mermaid.
Like this. Oh man! Also, you can check us out. We're a proud affiliate of Otaku Noir. You can use the discount code Blurred's Eye View and get free shipping. Some of the best, number one blurred blind box company out there. You want to get some of that stuff made by the best blurs in the business, in entertainment and comics and nerddom, and you name it, it's there. If they ain't got it, they gonna get it, and if they got it, then good. You want to check them out, but like I said, hit Blurred's Eye View for the free shipping code, and you trust me, you will not be disappointed with what they have over there at Otaku Noir. Shout out to our other sponsor, Ultimate Wireless, where you get all your techie needs. Shout out to Damon Davis over at Ultimate Wireless. ULT_wireless_ENT. Look at that. God dog it. I did it after a whole year. See, it's not hard. Just take your time. But like we always do with every show, man, thank you for everybody for tuning in. Shout out to all the people that was in the comment section joining in. Let us know on the IG page, what were your favorite trilogies and which series should have stopped? There's quite a few I can name, and think there's more on the list. So we might be revisiting. I don't know. But shout out to everybody out there who's been watching us, showing support, and giving us all the great love that they normally do. And we're out of here. Remember, as I do with every show, remember to educate yourself and others, entertain yourself and others, and most of all, encourage yourself and others. This is Chris Fury with the Dope Crew. We're out of here.
Bye.